Hi, my name is Megan Stevens, and this is my leadership presentation. What I've learned about myself, especially in terms of leadership over the past 4 months, is that I believe in servant leadership. To me, that means making the sacrifices in order to better your group, your friends, your clients, whoever you're trying to lead towards the change that is necessary. Especially during change, the first few steps are usually the hardest, so you gotta have to do that extra work. I believe in leading through empathy, empowerment, being goal oriented, being very focused, and also most importantly, motivating change and growth by eliminating the fear surrounding it, by trying to show people kind of the big picture, by showing people that all their struggles and all the hard work, there will be like the end goal will really be worth it. I also believe in being vulnerable as a leader. By being vulnerable, I mean it's also being courageous. Sharing personal experiences, struggles, mistakes, challenges that you've personally incurred yourself with people. Just makes you very genuine, and people respond very well to people that have been through struggles, and have changed their lives. I believe that's very, very effective. I'm going to use kind of a specific example over the past 4 months. I used to live in Fort McMurray full-time for quite a few years. My boyfriend works up there, so he's there half the time. I'm there often, and a lot of my best friends still live up there. Slightly difficult for me to talk about because it was pretty intense. It was pretty crazy. But it's I learned a lot about myself, and it was kind of almost the day this course started was when that whole situation really, not to sound ironic, but blew up. So I'm going to use a specific example of how I've kind of applied leadership and what I've kind of learned in this course and how I've applied it, and life experiences. So just background about me. About 5 years ago, I was engaged to a guy that had 2 small children, and was obviously separating from his ex. And it was really volatile, angry, I believe traumatic for the children situation. And now currently, I have a friend who's a Fort McMurray evacuee, dealing with the Fort McMurray fire, as well as a separation with 2 small children. He's got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old boy, and he's separating from his, we'll say, wife of 12 years. So he's got 2 major stressors in his life. Now, so what I've kind of done is I've explained to him, what I saw 5 years ago, and how I didn't see how that was the best choice. I mean, me 5 years ago was a bit different. I just kind of, I sat back and I didn't do anything. I didn't make it any worse. I didn't exacerbate the issue, but I didn't make it any better. So that's the opposite of leadership, right? And not making any change or not being of any benefit. So I've just kind of shared with him, the fact that, always stay calm and remain, goal-oriented and focused, and remember that really all he wants is, to see his children and for everything to be organized, and to accept this change in his life. It's over a decade of his life that is going to drastically change, and trying to, help eliminate that fear that, okay, wow, my life is changing, is completely changed, actually. I've been an empathetic ear. I've tried to put myself in his shoes and, just let him kind of vent and cry even, it definitely applies to, to fitness, because we as fitness professionals, our lives are fitness. It's what we do. It's what we know. It's second nature to us. But for other people, you know, it's extremely challenging. It's like it's a whole different world, and it can be very, very intimidating and very scary. So I think we need to be very understanding of that and kind of, you know, guide people in a way that eliminates that fear, that kind of shows them the process and the hard work, and that will, you know, the end goal will be so worth it, and the change will be, and the struggle will be worth it, you know, so what I've been kind of doing is like being really there for him as support. I've been like, you know, instead of going the court route, like I witnessed that was traumatic for the children, you know, using mediators, notary publics to create legal documents, parenting orders, not so much, you know, court, and like they're just a totally different way of handling it that is healthier for everybody involved. So yeah, that going back to that vulnerability, saying, you know, this is what I saw. This is the kind of mistake I made by just, you know, sitting back and not, you know, putting any input into it. So, and I don't want to see that happen to another person that I care about. So I think that's a huge leadership skill. You know, furthermore, and like, you know, being really organized, you know, helping him with like all these documents, and because he's dealing with the fire stuff too. Like his house didn't burn down, thank goodness, but I mean, there's all the, you know, the cleaning of it and then making sure everything is safe, and, you know, and then he has to try to find another place to live in Fort McMurray right now and pay for his other house and his kids. So, you know, I've tried to help him accept this fact of life that he's going to have to move back in with his parents, but that's the best for him financially, for his kids, you know, and to like you showing him the big picture. You know, I feel like that's really important, like to lead people towards change. It's going to be hard, whatever change it is. So just showing people, you know, the hard work is worth it. Furthermore, like when it comes to being goal-oriented and as a leader, you know, because goals can change, you know, you never know. Being able to be flexible in that. Like, for example, at first I was just, you know, like we'll say 6 months ago, I was just kind of helping him through this situation of the separation and the children. And I mean, now that I think about it, in comparison to dealing with all the Fort McMurray fire stuff, it's so much simpler. So I mean, just you know, guiding people and helping them understand, and I mean helping yourself understand that you have to accept life on life's terms, you know, and you know, anything hard is usually worth it, you know, and that you know, being organized and focused, and you know, having support and accepting help, you know, you'll be able to accomplish kind of anything that you need to do that's important. Furthermore, as a leader, you have to practice self-care. Me personally, going through this whole thing, and although I mean, yes, it did directly affect me, but me focusing completely on others and everybody else's problems and everything like that, I neglected my own health concerns, and I know better than that. You know, having chronic health conditions, you have to, or any sort of condition, or just any sort of, you just have to be able to be, as a leader, you need to be as healthy as possible yourself. So, you know, especially as fitness professionals, we have to exemplify health and show people that taking care of yourself is the most important thing, whether you have a family or, you know, a business or whatever. You have to take care of yourself first, you know, in order to be able to accomplish anything. So just in summary, to me, leadership is empathy, encouragement, and motivating people through removing or trying to decrease that fear of change, and showing them that the end result will be worth all the hard work, and, you know, trying to use any and all tools and experiences from your own past, you know, being vulnerable in that aspect, to help people, to show them that there is, you know, that light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.